So hello class, this is the last video of the week, so thanks for surviving and watching all these videos. I actually record these all on the same day, so that's why I'm wearing the same thing and here at home. So let's do some more limit problems, and you want to turn to your notes. This is one that says rationalizing technique. So same thing, I really want to do direct substitution, but there are instances where it just doesn't work. So in this example, I'll draw in blue. This one says the limit as x goes to 0. Okay, so what happens if I plug in 0? Well, 0 plus 1 is 1. The square root of 1 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. Now if I plug in 0 on the bottom, I get 0. And again, we got this 0 over 0 type, okay, where there has to be an answer, there has to be a way to fix this. In the last video, I taught you how to factor, but the problem is there's nothing here that I could factor. Okay, so let me just delete this real quick. What I'm going to do is something called, I'm going to do something called rationalizing, okay? And you should be familiar with this when we've done this over and over again in pre-cal, okay? What I'm going to do is I want to sort of, we've been rationalizing when you have a square root on the bottom, but in this case I have a square root on the top, and the reason why I rationalize is because somehow something is going to cancel and I'll be able to do a direct substitution, okay? I'm going to multiply by the conjugate of this numerator, and that conjugate is x plus 1 there. X plus 1 with a plus right here, 1, and I'll multiply that by the bottom also. Okay, so what I'll do, and I'll do this even simpler for you guys, on the bottom of the denominator in calculus, I'm not going to multiply things out, I'm just going to leave it like that. So in the denominator, this multiplies out. But in the top, since I'm multiplying conjugates, remember when I do FOIL with conjugates, I don't care about the middle terms. All I care about is the first and the last. So square root of x plus 1 times the square root of x plus 1 is just x plus 1. When I FOIL this one and this one, they both cancel, right? I get a positive 1 and I have a negative 1. These middle terms, they cancel each other out. So that's why we multiply by conjugates. And negative 1 times positive 1 is negative 1. Okay, so far? Now on the top, do you notice you have a positive 1 times a negative, positive 1 and a negative 1? So those cancel. And I get something like this. And if I plug in 0 again, I'm still going to get 0 over 0. Okay, so at some level you guys might say, like, man, that didn't simplify anything. But you notice, do you see I have an x on the top and an x factored on the bottom? So those both cancel. Okay. So that means what I can do is rewrite this as 1 over square root of x plus 1 plus 1. And that's the point of rationalizing. Something needs to cancel on the top and bottom. Because once you cancel something top and bottom, that means now I could do direct substitution. Which means now I could do direct substitution. I'll plug in a 0, right? I'll plug in a 0 here. Square root of 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, and I just have a 1 on the top. So instead of being stuck with 0 over 0, what I could do is rationalize, and I actually get an answer, which is 1/2. Okay. This problem, I think it's rewritten, or there's a typo here. This should be an x right here. Okay. Same problem. If I just plug in the 0, I get square root of 5 minus square root of 5, which is 0. If I plug in x here, I'm going to get 0. 0 over 0. That means I got to do something. It's either I'm factoring or I'm rationalizing. And obviously with square roots here, you're obviously going to rationalize. So I'm going to multiply by the conjugate. In this case, it's going to be the square root of x plus 5 plus radical 5. And since I have to multiply that on the top, I will also do that on the bottom. Okay. Remember I told you in calculus, I'm not going to multiply this out, so the denominator is just going to look like this. And the numerator, since these are conjugates, remember all I have to do is I care about multiplying these two and multiplying these two, because my middle terms are just going to cancel. So the square root of x plus 5 times the square root of x plus 5 is just x plus 5. And then negative radical 5 times positive radical 5 is just negative 5. Now, just like the last problem, these 5's will cancel. Just like the last problem, these x's will cancel. I'm going to get 1 over square root of x plus 5 plus square root of 5. Now that those canceled, I can plug in the 0 now. Down here I'm going to get equals 1 over square root of 5, because I plug in the 0, plus square root of 5, or 1 over 2 radical 5. One last step, I can't have the square on the bottom, so I'm going to rationalize again. I know that's going to kill some of you. But I'll multiply top and bottom by radical 5, which means, running out of space, I'll go over here. Multiplying across, I get radical 5 over, radical 5 times radical 5 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. Radical 5 over 10. This is like a shorter type video, but in any case, all you're learning today is rationalizing. So today in your packets, I'm just going to give you a different set of numbers, all practicing just rationalizing. So yesterday you did just only ones that did factoring and direct substitution. Today I want you practice rationalizing. So Monday when I see you, you're supposed to take a midterm, which is a co-op quiz. So we'll do a co-op quiz and all this stuff. Obviously I will help you out and get you guys ready and stuff like that, and we'll be able to retake it and do a solo quiz later next week. So hopefully you guys understand. Remember, updates, put on Schoology, things that you understand, don't understand, if you guys get it. You can tweet me or email me or message me, which some of you have done. I know Andrew did, I know Tony did, if you guys need help. And also know that all these videos are available on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Mr. Salmingo. If you ever want to review these videos or there's something you don't understand, that's why I record them, so I have this nice library for you guys to always go back if in case you guys don't understand. So thank you for watching. Have a good weekend. I'll see you guys soon. And yeah, take care and enjoy your weekend.